Hi y'all, this is the unboxing of the Oriens Tarot deck. I just received it today in the mail. Today is February 1st and it came from China, and the reason why I'm kind of laughing about that is because we're in the middle of the coronavirus state of emergency here in the US right now. So I was like, should I even unbox it? I did sanitize my hands after I touched all this because it came from China. The printer and where it was initially sent from was China, right around the time where, things are happening. Like they're actually blocking people from coming from China. But I'm going to assume that this was okay. Hopefully I've not unleashed an epidemic here. But the packaging, as you could see, was really very well thought out. It's probably the best packaging I've ever seen as far as protecting the deck. And I had forgotten that it came with this nice little cloth that you can use with the cards. That's kind of the symbol that she used on the box and on the back of the cards. And she made it into a cloth as well. Since this was a Kickstarter deck, she asked all of us Kickstarter patrons what we would like, and I think we got to pick from 4 different images, and this is the one that I voted for, so I was glad that the majority of the people went for this because I really thought it was kind of a cool graphic. I don't have any tarot cloths, so I can't really compare the quality of it to others, but I think that it felt really nice. It felt like a good heavy cloth, and I think that it came out looking very nice as well. Of course, it's wrinkled because it just came out of the packaging, but I think if you were going to be using this with the deck, it would be a really nice companion for that. And of course, the deck itself was shrink wrapped, so I'm just removing that right now. But they really took a lot of care, I think, with the packaging to make sure that everything arrived nicely. And again, this was the Kickstarter deck. I think she said on her Instagram, the artist said that she is going to have some for sale. She had, I might be misspeaking here, but I think she said she had like 100 or maybe 200 decks that she is going to sell at some point in February. So if you would like to follow her on Instagram to get one, if you did not already get or order this through the Kickstarter, you can try to snag it there. And so I'll put her Instagram below so that you can watch for the updates on that. But she did definitely say that she would be selling some of the overage. I love the edges on this. Oh, first we're going to look at the box. The box was really nice. When I first pledged, they were not going to have this very nice box with the magnetic closure and sturdy box. It was just going to be one of those kind of cheap boxes, but she had such a great overwhelming success with this project that she was able to upgrade the box, which I was happy about. And I just love the rainbow holographic edges too. I'm kind of an edge person when it comes to decks because I don't really like plain edges, and I usually will edge it myself if it doesn't come with any kind of edging. But everything about this deck is just so beautiful. So you're going to see all these different pieces of art for each card. Is just so awesome. I'm not a big animal deck kind of person, and this is actually probably the last tarot deck that I'm intending to buy for the foreseeable future. I am really enmeshed right now in developing my own tarot deck. And even though I'm a deck collector, I think I've kind of reached max capacity at the moment. But I could not turn down this deck because it was just so beautiful. Like I said, it's a little bit out of the ordinary for me to get animal tarot decks. I think the other one that I really loved was the, I can't think of it right now. It's escaping me. I'll have to add it at the end of the video because I don't have the box right here with me, but it's a black and white animal deck that was just so stunningly beautiful. But you could see, and I hope that the camera's catching just the depth of color of these cards. There is no, metallic or foil accents on this, but the way that the artist has colored each card, it really gives it a depth that makes it appear as if it's, special in some way, like metallic, or I don't know any other way to describe it, but I can feel when I touch the cards that there isn't anything, there's no foiling, or it's just a smooth, slick card, which makes it really great for shuffling, but it does give that illusion of depth to the cards. Some of these are just so stunning. And I think if you like to do Instagram, that these would definitely photograph well too. Okay, this is what got me. She got me with the star card. I was not going to buy this deck, and then I saw the star card, and it's one of the most beautiful cards I've ever seen. So I had to get it. It's definitely my favorite card of the deck. And this deck did not come with a book of any kind, which I was totally fine with. And I think she asked us at one point if we felt like it was necessary. And, if you're a seasoned tarot reader, you wouldn't need a deck. But I do wonder about some of her choices for the cards. That reminds me of my sign, Pisces, with the two fishes swimming in opposite directions. But, as I was flipping through these and looking at the different animals, like obviously she chose the penguins for the Two of Cups because they mate for life, which is really sweet. But some of the cards I was a little bit just interested to know her thought process as to why she had selected, a certain animal or fish or bird or whatever for that particular card. So that's just me being curious. Not that it matters. There's Puppy Love for the Six of Cups, which I could see clearly why she picked that. But again, some of them I just kind of scratched my head trying to figure out, was there a reason why she chose a particular animal for some of these cards, or was she just, sometimes, the artists, or at least the ones that I know that create tarot decks, they might not have a particular reason. They might just think, okay, I want to do this scene or this animal just because I think it would look pretty, or I'm going to take artistic license with this, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the actual meaning of the card, which is totally fine, and I understand that too. I'm not sure if the artist did that with this deck, or if she does have a reason why she chose each particular animal for each card. I guess that's something that I could ask her on her Instagram. And if anybody already knows, feel free to comment below. I'm just kind of curious. I know how much work goes into these. You're doing 78 different pieces of art basically for this deck, and each one takes time, and you really kind of pour your heart out into it. But I think everybody can agree that this is a very special deck. It's very unique. I can't think of any other deck that I've seen that is in this particular style, or that even really comes close to it. And I can't remember what I paid for this deck. It was probably, and the reason I don't know is because it was in Australian currency, so I don't know what I actually ended up getting billed. But I want to say that it was probably around $50 US, maybe more. But I definitely feel like it was worth the money to buy it. Again, just because it's such a beautiful and unique deck. It's not something that I would use for clients, obviously. I don't usually use decks that don't have people depicted for clients, because people can relate to the cards better when it has people in it. But this is something that I would use for myself, or just to appreciate the art. I guess some of us tarot deck collectors, we really do just purchase our decks for the art, and that can be enough of a reason. I know for a while she was, and I'm not sure if she is currently, but the artist was selling certain prints from this deck that you could purchase and frame. And I actually thought about maybe getting the star, because I just like I said, that's what made me buy this deck. That was what tipped the scales for me, and it's such a attention-grabbing piece of artwork that I'm not really into. If you came to my house, you wouldn't see a bunch of, paintings on the walls or whatever. I'm not that kind of person. I don't usually pay much attention to my surroundings, but I actually considered buying it. So if you see something from this deck that is, something that you really connect to, you might want to reach out to her and see if she still has any of these images for sale. And I'll see if I can find her website. It might have that information as well. I haven't been to her website since I got the cards. She did communicate very well through Kickstarter through this whole process. The deck did arrive late, something to do with Chinese New Year. Actually, when I purchased or pledged for the deck, which I think was last summer, it was supposed to be arriving in December, and it just arrived today on February 1st. So it's very late, but it was totally worth the wait. And so hopefully if you want it, if you did not order it, but you want to get this deck, like I said, I think she's going to be opening them up for sale sometime this month. So I would say it's definitely worth the wait if you can hang in there and wait for it. I have no idea if she's going to be doing another print of this deck or if this was it. I think it was very successful campaign, as I mentioned. So, maybe she will be doing another edition of it, or maybe it will become a mass-produced deck. I really have no idea about that. But again, I'll link her Instagram below so that you can inquire directly to her. Or if anybody has any information, feel free to comment below so that anybody else who's watching this unboxing can get that information. So I'm about to just shuffle and show you how well the cards do. They're kind of on the thin side, but not too thin. But I think that they shuffle really easily. They have kind of a slippery texture to them, it just makes it really easy to shuffle. Even though I'm dropping them here, but really the reason I'm dropping them is because they're kind of slick. I always prefer that to cards that kind of stick together. If you ever get a deck that is really high gloss, like the first edition of the Mary L. Tarot, that one was almost impossible to shuffle because they just kind of stick together because of that high gloss finish. But these are like very silky smooth. I think it's very easy to shuffle, and you'll enjoy it from that aspect. You can see how easy it is here. But yeah, I really love this deck. I'm very happy with the end result. I think it was worth every penny. And if it is the last deck that I ever buy that is not one that I'm creating, then I think I'll be really happy. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching.